Hi, second graders. I'm here for our 16-4 math video. We're almost done with math, just a few more lessons, and then we will take our last test of the year. It's so exciting. So I hope you enjoyed graphing last week, 16-3, and doing the IXL for graphing. I think graphing is super fun. I think it's, it's kind of a break from your typical math, and it makes you think and visualize, and those of you who are already probably really like it. So let's look at this. If you want to choose 3 or 4 objects to measure and follow along with me, that'd be awesome. If not, you can just watch me. So on the front, it tells me object and length in inches. So I'm going to show you the 4 objects I picked out. And the first thing I picked out was a Hershey bar. So I'm going to write down Hershey bar. And then I'm going to measure it in inches. So it looks like it's almost, oops, let me put it so you can see it. It's almost 6.5, but remember, we said if it's less than that half mark, we're gonna go down. So we're gonna say it's 6 inches. So I'm just gonna put a 6 there. And then the next thing I picked out was this little baby Jesus figurine. We got him one year at Panther Fest, and I just think he's adorable. He sits in our kitchen window and watches over us. So let's measure him. He is, look at, super close to 2 inches, our little baby Jesus. So I'm gonna write, he's not a baby Jesus, I guess, but Jesus figurine, 2 inches for Jesus. And then the next thing I found was Zoe's rocket from last year from Rocket Math. And you can see she didn't get to division. All right, so let's measure her rocket. And this is about 5 inches. So I'm gonna write rocket and 5. And the last thing I found was Thomas the Train. This was Noah's favorite toy when he was little. Did any of you like Thomas when you were little? Noah loved him. All right, so I'm gonna put Thomas down right here. And we'll measure him. And he's almost 3 inches. Cute little Thomas. All right, Thomas the Train. And he was about 3 inches. So now that we have all of our lengths, all of our objects measured and their lengths written down, we are going to answer some questions about it. And first, we have right here what is called a line plot graph. So this is a different kind of graph. It's just a line plot, and it says number of inches. It has a title like all other graphs do, so it tells you what it's measuring, what these numbers stand for. It's not number of Skittles or number of balls tossed into a basketball hoop or anything like that. This is number of inches, so we know. So then the way you plot on a line plot is by you putting an X above the number for how, and if there's like this one, for example, I have an object that's 6 inches, so I'm going to put an X above the 6. If I had 2 that were 6 inches, I would put another X above, and you'd see stacks of X's, and you'll see some of those later on. My Jesus figurine was 2 inches, my rocket was 5, and my Thomas the Train was 3. So I've plotted all of my objects on my line plot graph. So now I'm going to answer questions about it just like we can any other graph. What object is the longest? Well, if I look at my line plot, I just have to go all the way down to the right because I know my numbers are getting bigger. So the object that was 6 inches was the Hershey bar. And which object is the shortest? Well, that was Jesus figurine because he was only 2. And I can see that here, that 2 is the littlest number on my graph. And does any object have a length of 5 inches? Yeah, I did have one that was exactly 5 inches, and that was Zoe's Rocket Math rocket. All right, so if I didn't get one that was 5 inches, I would just write, nope, I don't have any. All right, let's go to the inside. So on top, they do a little bit more of the same. We see our word is line plot for the day. You can measure the length of objects and show how long they're on a line plot. And so they have a table here of objects, and then they measured their objects, and then they plotted them on the line plot. And look at here. See how above the 4 there are 2 X's? That means 2 objects measured 4 inches. So if we look at our table, I can see that the glue bottle is 4 inches, and so are the scissors. So that's why we have those X's, and you just stack them up on top of each other. You don't put them around in like a blob, because then you couldn't really read the graph easily. But this way it's nice and organized and you can read it. You just stack them on top of each other. All right, so guided practice says measure each object in inches and record the length in the table. Show each length on the line plot. So they already did the red marker was 4 inches, and then they put that in the table. And I'm going to do the crayon. And it is 3 inches long. Don't forget to put it in your table. And the paintbrush, I like how they show you right where it starts and ends, is about 6. A little bit more, but that's okay. 6. So then I'm going to go ahead and put them on my line plot. So I see that the marker was 4, so I'm going to put an X above the 4. I hope we said 4. And then my crayon was 3 inches, so I'm going to put that X above the 3. And then my paintbrush was 6, so I'm going to put that X above the 6. Nice. The Do You Understand says, which is the shortest object on your line plot? Explain. Well, the shortest object is the crayon. Because, how do I know? I have to explain. Because 3 is the lowest number on my graph, or my plot, let's say. So 3 is the lowest number, and that corresponds with the crayon. The crayon is my littlest, shortest object. Independent practice, measure each object in inches, record each length in the table, and show the length on the line plot. So same thing we just did. Piece of chalk here is about 3. The straw is about 6. And the glue stick is about 2. It's nice that they give us variety here. A lot of the same measurements. It's kind of boring. So the chalk was 3 inches, the straw was 6, and the glue stick was 2. And then I plot them. I plot the chalk is 3, so I put an X in the 3. Straw is 6, so I put an X in the 6. And the glue stick is 2, so I put an X on the 2. Write the objects from shortest to longest. So I see that it was 2 is my shortest, and if I look over here, that's my glue stick. And then my next one was 3, which is the chalk. And then finally the straw was the longest. So see, this is just a different type of graph that organizes your information in a different way. We learned about bar graphs. Next lesson, we're going to learn about pictographs. There's circle graphs, there's line graphs, there's all sorts of graphs. Box and whisker plots, those are fun. You'll learn about those when you're older. Nobody remember box and whisker plots? So I think he was in 6th grade when he learned that, maybe 5th. So, but there's lots of ways to display information. So on my back page here, Sophia measured her colored pencils and made a chart. Use her chart to make the line plot. So we're just putting the X's. They already gave us information here, so this part's easy. I'm going to put an X for red above the 4, blue above the 3, the green is 7, and the yellow is 9. Easy peasy. This is really easy, isn't it? How many inches shorter is the red pencil than the yellow? Well, red is 4. And yellow is 9, so I have to subtract 9 minus 4 equals 5. And which is Sophia's shortest pencil? Explain. Well, the shortest one is the blue. Is the blue pencil. I know, because it is the lowest number on the line plot. 3. That's the lowest number on the line plot. So hopefully this lesson was pretty fun for you guys and easy. I think the worksheet is super easy. If I remember, there's only like 8 points on it or something like that. So it should be super easy for you guys. We need a code word. And let's have the code word be Jesus, since we measured Jesus today. All right, just write that on the top of your paper so I can see it when I grade it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.